let us just connect our chat. Alrighty, here we are. I know you. You're not lazy. You are not inexperienced. You're showing up, you're posting, and you've got a damn good offer. But maybe the likes, the quiet views, the people who watch everything that you do, they're not really turning into clients. And maybe they're not sliding into your DMs asking, how can I work with you? They're not pulling out their card and paying. And perhaps they're certainly not throwing their wallets at your face. And let me tell you that it is not because you're not visible enough, and it's not because you need to shout it out louder, and it's not because you're missing some trendy trick or hack. It's simply because your words, the micro moments in the messaging, are not doing the heavy lifting for you. So your posts, your emails, your stories, maybe they're leaving people curious, but they're not converting them into conviction. So by the time that we are done today, you're going to walk away knowing how to shift your messaging from, oh, that's nice, to holy shit, I need this. And how to flip passive lurkers, the ones that you think are ignoring you, into active, ready to buy buyers. And how to bake desire and momentum into everything that you put out so that people start selling themselves on you before you even open your mouth. Drop a yes in the chat right now if you are ready to upgrade your buyer energy, because trust me, today's session is going to snap you out of the I'm doing everything right, but nothing's working loop. All right, so guys, if you are joining me live, say hi in the comments so that I know that you are here. And as always, if you are catching this on replay, give me a hashtag replay in the comments as well. And obviously, as always, please do just comment and, interact with me as we're going, because I will always come back to circle back to you later, answer any questions and that sort of thing, okay? All right, so I really want to get into the heart of the training here. Now, most content sparks curiosity. It makes people pause, maybe even nod and think, that's interesting. But as we know, curiosity doesn't pay your bills, and curiosity doesn't fill your programs, right? And curiosity sure as hell doesn't convert stealth lurkers into clients. So what you actually need to build is conviction. And conviction is when someone moves from, ooh, that's kind of cool, to holy shit, I can't not have this. How fast can I sign up? Right? So it's when your content activates desire at the deepest level. So it wakes up something inside of them that says, this is the person, this is the program, this is the solution that I've been searching for, even if I didn't know that I was searching. So, imagine them reading your post late at night, heart pounding and realizing, this could finally be the thing that helps me break free. This could be what changes everything for me. So you're not informing, you're awakening possibility, right? So most people, are selling tips when they should be selling transformation. And transformation isn't about more steps or more strategies, okay? It's about making your audience feel the gap between where they are and what's possible. So how do we bridge this gap? Well, firstly, we stop giving bland tips and we start building belief bridges. So we stop sharing how to do something and we start showing why it matters and why they can't afford to wait. So let me show you exactly what I mean, right? For example, instead of saying, here's how to eat healthier, if you said something like, here's how to eat cleaner without giving up pizza and wine, well, now that hits harder, doesn't it? Because now you're not just offering a vague outcome, You're dismantling the belief that healthy eating equals restriction or sacrifice or suffering. So you're giving them permission to want the result and still hold on to what they love. Or here's another example. Here's how to create better social media posts. Instead, how about saying, here's why your content is already good, but still invisible to people that are ready to pay you, and how to flip that today. Boom. We're not just improving posts, we're unlocking hidden sales potential. Can you see the difference? Because now we've gone from generic improvement to sort of a punch in the gut realization like, wait, I'm losing money right now, right? So that creates urgency and that snaps them out of that passive mode and into, I need to fix this right now strategy, or energy rather. So drop a fire emoji in the chat if you can already feel how this is landing differently. But I want to push it a little bit deeper, because this isn't just about clever rephrasing, right? It's about identifying and flipping the subconscious beliefs that are keeping your audience stuck. So ask yourself, what does my buyer currently believe about their situation that's holding them back? And what do they need to believe instead to feel truly ready to buy? And how can I gently, powerfully build a bridge between these two realities? So, for example, if they believe I can't raise my rates because no one will pay me, you can say something like, here's why my clients charge double what they used to and why their dream clients happily pay them in full. Boom, belief flipped. Or if you are a fitness coach and your audience believes, I don't have time to work out, you could bridge that gap or that belief by saying, here's how busy mums squeeze in 15-minute strength sessions while the kids nap and see bigger results than an hour at the gym. Boom, belief flipped. Okay, here's one more. If you are a relationship coach and they believe he'll never change, you can bridge that belief by saying, here's why your relationship doesn't need a miracle, just 3 tiny communication shifts that change everything overnight. Again, boom, belief flipped. I like that. Hello to whoever is saying hi in the chat. Sorry, I am streaming through one stream and it doesn't actually give people's names, which is crazy, crazy stupid. I'm so sorry, but hi. I hope it's you, Caroline. Anyway, so one of my clients shifted a post from something like 5 ways to journal better to the journaling shift that helped her client break a 5K income ceiling. And within a week, 2 DMs landed asking, how can I work with you? So that is the power of flipping beliefs and not just sharing tips, right? So belief bridges collapse resistance. They help people to cross from their current story, the one that's keeping them stuck, to a new possibility where they can actually see themselves winning. And this is where you stop being just another expert online and you start being the only person that your audience believes can unlock their next level. And the cool thing is that, these kind of shifts, you not only make in your social media content, but you can use this in your sales email, your sales pages, your email nurture sequences, anywhere. Okay. So tell me in the comments now, what is one limiting belief that your audience is silently holding that if you flipped it today would unlock a floodgate of sales? I want you to call it out and claim it, because this is where your shift begins. Because ultimately, when you learn to stack belief bridges inside of your content, you don't need to push, you don't need to chase, and you don't need to convince people. Okay, your people start leaning in on their own and thinking, if this is how much they just shifted my thinking, like imagine what they will do inside their paid offers, right? And that is how you quietly, powerfully, and consistently turn lurkers into buyers. Now, here's the thing. Even once you've built the belief bridge, and even once your audience is thinking, okay, maybe this is possible for me, there's another silent roadblock that can stop them in their tracks. And it's not just about what they believe, it's about what they fear. Because your lurkers aren't just waiting for you to inspire them, right? They're wrestling with hidden doubts, the kind that probably they wouldn't even say out loud. So if you want to turn quiet interest into action, you can't wait until they get to the sales page to handle those doubts, right? You need to start collapsing that resistance inside of your content. And really, that's where shift number 2 comes in. So, your lurkers, the ones who are quietly reading, scrolling, watching, they're not just sitting there thinking, that sounds cool. They're thinking, yeah, but will this actually work for me? Or, sure, maybe she can do it, but could I pull this off? Or, I like what I'm hearing, but can I really trust this? Okay, so this is the silent resistance that lives underneath the surface. And it's what keeps people on the sidelines, stuck in lurker mode, even when they're interested. And here's the thing, if you want to handle these objections at the sales page or on the sales call, you've already lost half the battle. So the secret is that you collapse objections inside of your content, you reframe resistance before they even think to raise it, and thirdly, you dissolve doubts as they silently surface. So let me show you exactly how this works. So if time is an objection, you don't just post, my program only takes 15 minutes a day, right? You want to paint a picture. Here's how one busy mum carved out 15 minutes a day between nap time and school pickup and saw faster results than when she was forcing herself to slog through hour-long workouts. Boom. You didn't just give them a time frame, but you gave them proof that it's possible inside of their chaotic real-time or real-life schedule, right? If money is the objection, you don't say, it's affordable. Okay, you want to show them the return. Here's how one of my clients raised her rates by $500 without adding any extra work and signed 2 dream clients the same week. So there, you're flipping their thought from, I can't afford this, to I can't afford not to do this because this will make me more, right? I hope this is making sense. All right, one more. If audience size is the objection, you don't just post, you don't need a big audience. You want to make it tangible. Here's why one of my clients built a 10K a month offer with under 800 followers, no ads, no reels, no viral posts, just smarter sales systems. Now you've erased the but I'm too small excuse, right? So here's the psychology behind it, right? When you reframe objections inside of your content, you stop them from spinning in their own fears. You start flipping those doubts into excitement and you create momentum before they even reach your pitch. And you elevate yourself into a role of trusted leader, not just another coach or consultant hoping for a sale. So this is where you step into that energy of, I know exactly what they need and I am here to guide them. No pushing, no chasing, just confidence. So let me give you a mini case study, right? One of my clients was stuck in the I'm posting every day, but no one's buying spiral. So we rewrote just one of her posts to directly collapse the most common objection that her audience had, which was, I don't have the time to do this work. Now, the new post walked them through a real client win, showing how a busy parent fit the program into small, manageable pockets of time. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. I think I'm talking too much. Hang on. Gonna have to do some editing to get that out of there. All right, so the post walked them through a real client win, showing how a busy parent fit this program into small, manageable pockets of time, right? And why that actually worked better than overhauling their whole schedule. So within 24 hours, she literally had 2 DMs in her inbox saying, do you have space for one-on-one? So she didn't pitch harder. She didn't launch a new offer. She didn't change her price. She literally just reframed the resistance. And, that's not just a tactical win, right? It's an energetic shift. She didn't just reframe objections, right? She recalibrated how her audience saw her. And then suddenly, she was the only person that they trusted to help them to move forward. So tell me in the comments, what is one silent objection that your people are holding? And after this training, I want you to go and look at your last post or story and rewrite it to flip that resistance today. Don't wait, because when you do this, you don't just remove barriers, but you build momentum that makes people start selling themselves on you before you even make the offer. Okay, so sales is icky. I'm assuming that that's one of the beliefs that your audience is holding. That's a very, very popular one. All right, glad this is making sense. All right, so here's what I want you to remember. My English is not working so well today. Most of your lurkers are not sitting there thinking, no, I don't want this, right? They're sitting there thinking, I want this, but I'm scared that it won't work for me. So your job is to show them, yes, it will, and here's why. And when you learn to do that, your audience stops seeing your content as nice tips and starts seeing you as the only person that understands exactly what they need. And when they see that, well, then the buying decision becomes easy, okay? Because you've stacked the belief bridges, you've collapsed the hidden objections. And at this point, your audience is no longer sitting there thinking, maybe that sounds interesting, or yeah, will it work for me, right? They're already leaning in and they're already feeling the pull, thinking, okay, maybe this is exactly what I've been looking for. But here is the final piece that turns interest into irresistibility. Is that a word? It's not just about solving problems or clearing doubts, right? It's about amplifying the perceived value so high that they're thinking, if this is what I'm getting for free, imagine what's inside of the paid offer. And this is where shift number 3 comes in. This is the multiplier. And this is what quietly triggers the I can't not buy this reaction. At the end of the day, you don't need to stack more features. You don't need to add more modules, more PDFs, more bonuses, more calls. More stuff does not equal more value, okay? What you actually need is to position what you already have as life-changing, because people don't pay for the number of deliverables. They pay for what they believe those deliverables will unlock in their life. Inside their head, they're not thinking, interesting features. They're whispering, could this finally help me feel free or confident or in control or whatever it is, right? Could this finally get me where I've been trying to go for months or years? That is the tension that you want to stoke. So, for example, don't just sell a meal plan. Sell waking up with more energy, looking in the mirror, loving how your clothes fit, feeling confident on the beach without second guessing yourself. Don't just sell a coaching program. Sell collapsing time, helping them skip the years of trial and error to get results faster, easier, and with less risk. Don't just sell a relationship coaching session. Sell waking up to a partner who listens, who connects, who supports you, feeling more intimate and secure than you ever have in years. Don't just sell a money management program. I'm on a roll here. Sell checking your bank account and smiling because you finally feel like you're in control, watching your savings grow without constant stress. I think you get the point, right? Okay, I'll stop there. All right, so let me give you another mini case study. One of my clients was stuck in the old pattern of selling her program based on features, 6 modules, weekly calls, workbooks, templates, all the things. She was getting inquiries, but people kept asking, can I get a discount? Or can you break it up into smaller pieces? Why? Because they were comparing the offer based on deliverables, and deliverables can always be price shocked. So here's what we did instead. We wrote her positioning around the felt transformation, the time freedom that she helped create, the confidence that she gives her clients to raise their rates, the calm, grounded leadership that they embody after working with her. So we didn't change a single feature. We didn't add anything new. We simply amplified how her audience felt about the existing offer. And the result was that her conversions doubled and at a higher price point. Why? Because we shifted the perception from what am I getting to who will I become if I say yes to this. Drop a yes in the chat if you're feeling the shift, and then write down one part of your offer where you are going to multiply the perceived value today. Not next week, today. Any tips for energy healing? I have lots of tips on energy healing. I have no idea who I'm talking to right now. I'm so sorry. Let me try and call you up on Facebook real quick. But I am going to recommend if you can drop me a message. It's Mink. Hi, Mink. So nice to see you, love. Hi. Drop me a message on Facebook and give me a little bit more details about your business and who you serve and that sort of thing, and let me help you out. All right, cool. So here's a question. Yes, I see you, Mink. I see you, love. I opened up Facebook. I saw you. All right, so let's see. How do you apply this right now? I want you to go and look at your last sales page, your last post, or even your last pitch. And I want you to ask yourself, am I selling deliverables or am I selling the transformation? Am I focusing on features or on the felt experience, the emotion, the identity shift that they crave? And then I want you to rewrite one piece of copy today through the lens of this isn't about what they get, it's about what they become. Okay? And here's why this is so powerful. Your audience is not sitting at home thinking, oh my God, I hope someone sells me another 6-module course today. Surprise. They're sitting there thinking, I want to feel free. I want to feel confident. I want to feel like I'm finally winning at this, right? So when you amplify the value around that, you stop being a commodity and you become the only logical choice. And then watch what happens. So when you do this, you're not just tweaking copy. You're stepping into the identity of someone whose business pulls people in effortlessly. You're no longer pushing, you're magnetizing. And that's when business starts feeling fun again, right? Because you're no longer stuck wondering, what am I missing, right? You're watching the sales come in, knowing that your energy and your words are finally doing the heavy lifting for you. They're in alignment. That's the energy shift that transforms your whole sales ecosystem. Okay, so let's pause for a second and take a deep breath. Because right now, you have two choices. You can either walk away from this training thinking, wow, that was super helpful, or you can walk away thinking, holy shit, I'm ready to apply this and change my entire trajectory. So here's what's next if you're ready to keep the momentum going. Firstly, if you feel lit up by these micro shifts, if you're thinking, this is making so much sense, I just want to apply it right now, then you have to join me on the 3rd to the 5th of June for Message to Money. Okay, it's a free event. It's where we take everything that you've just learned and we go even deeper. So imagine this, by the end of June, you're no longer wondering why people aren't buying. You're watching DMs and sales notifications and client bookings land, not because you're working harder, but because you rebuilt the words, your energy, your systems to do the heavy lifting for you. So In Message to Money, we are mapping your opt-in, your nurture flow, your sales sequence, and we rebuild your messaging for maximum desire, resonance, and conversion. It's free, it's live, it's where you stop duct taping random tactics together and you start building a cash flow ecosystem that actually moves cold leads into 3K plus sales paid in full. So mark it down, show up. This will change the way that you sell. If you want the link to Message to Money, let me know and I will drop it, or I'll stick it in the comments and you guys can just grab your spot. But if you know that you're not here to dabble and you want to build, then I'm going to suggest that you skip straight to Cash Flow Catalyst. Now, this isn't just a program. It's not a course. Well, I mean, it's a hybrid, okay? But it's where we engineer the entire ecosystem that lets you scale without burnout so that you're no longer chasing momentum, but you're living inside it, okay? If you're sitting there right now, heart racing, thinking, I am done patching things together on my own and I'm ready for the full system, then Cash Flow Catalyst is waiting for you. This is a super high touch 6-month container where we lock arms to refine your offers so that they're magnetic to the right buyers. We nail down your messaging as well so that you stand out effortlessly, and we build out your entire evergreen sales systems so that your business generates leads and cash flow every single day. Even when you're offline, hanging out on the beach in your hammock like I was yesterday and living your best life. And right now, we've got an early bird pricing, flexible payment plans, and private strategy calls on the table. But heads up, because the early access window closes at the end of May. I think when I looked at it earlier today, it was like 10 days away. When it's gone, it's gone. So if your gut is already saying, this is what I need, I want you to listen to that, because when you invest at this level, you don't just get a system, right? You get a business that scales you into the version of yourself that you've been chasing. And if you are still on the fence, ask yourself, what is the cost of doing nothing? And what's the cost of another month stuck where you are instead of building momentum today? So before you leave, I want you to drop your biggest aha, your boldest takeaway, or the one shift that you are most excited to apply right now in the comments. And again, if you're watching the replay, post your thoughts. I always circle back because this isn't just about me talking at you, okay? It's about you stepping up, engaging, and choosing to move forward. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for playing bigger. Thank you for trusting yourself enough to say, I'm done sitting on the sidelines and I'm ready to create momentum, desire, and conversion right now. Because here's what I know for sure. When you master these micro shifts, you don't just turn lurkers into buyers. You turn buyers into super fans. You turn clients into cash flow. You turn your business into the scalable, profitable, freedom-driving machine that you've been working so hard for. So say it out loud right now, even if you're just whispering to yourself, I'm done waiting. I'm ready to apply and I'm stepping into my next level results. And then drop a fire emoji if you're with me. All right, guys. I will see you next week. No, actually, I won't see you next week. I'll see you the week after that for Message to Money. I hope I see you there. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon. Ciao.